Andor Season 1 was epic, beautiful. It was a masterpiece, but that doesn't mean you remember every detail and storyline on the way up to Season 2. So let's recap all the most important parts so that you're ready to go when Season 2 drops. We first meet Cassian Andor as he's on the run because he's basically a professional troublemaker, and this time he's on the run for killing 2 corpos. If you don't know what a corpo is, think a space mall cop with a power trip. The corpos go on a full-on manhunt to chase down Cassian, all led by Cyril Karn, who has his own serious issues.
Mother.
Enter Brasso, the best friend, and Bix, the ex-girlfriend, who both are going to pitch in to help Cassian get out of the trouble that he's created for himself. But they have to do this all while keeping it on the down low from Cassian's adoptive mom and their weirdly anxious droid B2 EMO.
I don't want to be alone. I want Mama Marva.
Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
Bix calls in a huge favor by using her contacts in the rebellion to bring in a buyer to buy a piece of stolen Imperial tech that Cassian is going to use the money from to go disappear. And so then we meet Luthen Rael, who is codenamed Axis by ISB, as they've been trying to figure out who he is and hunt him down, as he's been hiding in plain sight on Coruscant as an antiques dealer, all as a front to launder money for the rebellion. The meeting goes a bit sideways as the corpos close in, thanks to those on Ferrix for the warnings, but Cassian and Luthen are stuck and they have to get out. So Luthen reveals he wasn't really there for the stolen tech, he was there for Cassian, and he offers Cassian a role in something bigger. And Cassian is in. Well, kind of. He's only really in it for the money. And so now it's time for a good old-fashioned heist as Cassian is introduced to a ragtag group of rebels who've been hanging out in the woods of Aldani for the last 5 months, planning and plotting to steal the quarterly payroll for an entire Imperial regiment. But their leader, Vel, and the others do not love the fact that they're bringing in someone really at the 9th hour. But Vel tries to convince the entire team that there's a good reason for it.
He'll give us critical redundancy in all areas.
Skeen, Terramin, Nemec, and Cinta don't necessarily all buy it at first. They have their own baggage and reasons for being there that we find out as the episodes kind of unfold all of that for us. My favorite being Nemec. I just absolutely love his character, and it's kind of sad to see him go so quickly. But that's exactly what happens as they go to pull off the heist, thanks to an inside man, Lieutenant Gorn, who has his own reasons for hating the Empire and what they've done to the people of Aldani. All under the cover of the Eye, they pull off this seemingly impossible heist in a series of perfectly planned out elements, but it's not without loss. They lose Terramin and Nemec, but are able to pull off the heist of a century, and they get the galaxy talking about what happened at Aldani. But 80 million credits is enough to make anyone rethink what they want, and Skeen tries to make a proposal to Cassian to say, hey, we can ditch everybody and take the money. You can take half, I can take half. And before he can even get done proposing it, Cassian shoots him dead right then and there. But Cassian isn't even really all in. He's just doing this to save his own butt. He takes his cut, tells Vel to tell Luthen, hey, forget I exist, and he disappears. Meanwhile, Aldani has seemed to prove a theory held by a random ISB agent who has been working her way up the ranks in the ISB. Dedra Miro has felt for a time that the chaos of all these stolen goods seemed almost too perfectly chaotic, almost as if there was a pattern to the chaos. And so now this stolen Starpath unit is kind of the key to proving that. And we get a glimpse behind the scenes of the ISB and the Empire, this dark, calculating, almost just like unforgiving perspective. And it's something that's been missing as of late in Star Wars. Cyril Karn has been sent back home with his tail between his legs, and now he's stuck at a desk job, but all he can do is dream. Dream about Cassian Andor, the one that got away. He can't get Cassian out of his head, so much so that he's repeatedly sending these warnings and messages, and it catches the eye of Dedra Meero. And so Dedra and Cyril have their first meeting, and there's some kind of awkward chemistry even between the two of them that we'll see come to kind of a head at the end of the season, which makes me think there's more than meets the eye to this relationship between Dedra and Cyril that I hope we explore more in season 2. Cassian tries to do what any of us would do, escape and relax on the beach with our new winnings, but not so fast. The Empire says, nah, how about 6 years in a dystopian prison in the middle of the ocean? And that's exactly what happens. He gets thrown into prison for being caught in what was just happening on the beach. This all shows the fear of the Empire, that they're just cracking down on anyone and everyone. And so then we end up at Narkina 5. Narkina 5, where the floor is lava, the food has no taste, and your boss is Kino Loy.
This is Unit 52D. Level 5, Room 2. The D is for day shift. 7 levels of factory, 7 rooms per level, 7 tables per room, 7 men, each table. My name is Kino Loy. I'm the 52D unit manager. The 49 men in this room answer to me.
What begins as a seemingly hopeless existence quickly transitions into an epic prison break, all centered around the ineptitude of the Empire, where they accidentally make a mistake and let slip that this Narkina 5 thing is kind of just like a huge game of whose line is it anyway, where the points don't matter and the sentences are really just made up. And it's once Kino sees the truth that he's willing to finally give in and give the green light to Cassian and the others to try and pull off this prison break.
How many guards on each level?
Never more than 12.
And they actually pull it off thanks to Kino Loy and his impressive speech, getting them to chant one way out. But here's the problem. Kino's not getting out. We find out that as they all have taken over the prison and they're getting to jump out of the prison to swim to safety, Kino can't swim. While Cassian is in prison, Luthen has been working with a senator from Chandrila. Chandrila is a place of strange traditions and even stranger alcohol. It also was one of the core founding worlds for the Galactic Republic, which starts to make sense why Mon Mothma, its senator, would care so much about the Republic and so much about reestablishing all of these things through political means. Meanwhile, she's also trying to help this rebellion gain funds by using her power and her wealth to try and fund this fledgling rebellion, while at the same time trying to bring about the political change that she thinks the galaxy needs. But Luthen doesn't put all his eggs in one basket. He also has a spy inside the ISB, one that he's been working with for 7 years. But there's a problem. Lonnie is worried that this double life is going to negatively impact his now growing family. So Luthen has to remind him that this life brings sacrifice, and even reminding Lonnie the sacrifices that Luthen is making for the good of the rebellion, and trying to convince Lonnie that the work he's doing is really the hero's work. But back on Ferrix, Marva has died, and now they're preparing for her funeral procession, but it's going to turn into more of a protest than a procession, as the ISB is trying to limit and make things difficult because they think this is the trap that they're going to get Cassian Andor in, because they've been watching, they've been waiting, and now they're setting the trap all around this funeral. But it doesn't just bring back the ISB agents like Dedra and Cyril. Well, Cyril's not an ISB agent, but he's there. Why? Because he's stalking Cassian. Cassian's gonna be there. Luthen's gonna be there. Vel and Cintas, everyone's back like a reunion of sorts for this last push. But no one was ready, and the trap wasn't ready for what Marva had to say.
If I could do it again, I'd wake up early and be fighting these bastards from the start. Fight the Empire!
And so Marva sparked this chaos by telling the people of Ferrix to wake up and fight the Empire. And so now everything kind of explodes, and in all of the chaos that's going on, Cassian uses this to go get and save Bix, who had been arrested and interrogated and tortured by Dedra Meero, trying to get information about Cassian. While all of it's going down, Cyril has to save Dedra from dying, which leads to this weird scene that I think is going to be a foundational scene moving forward in season 2, and it allows Cassian to then meet back up with Luthen, who he knew was there to hunt him down and kill him. And so Cassian gives Luthen an ultimatum, but not the ultimatum you're expecting.
Kill me. Or take me in.
Cassian is now all in. It's not about the money, it's personal, and it's all thanks to Marva. Oh, and by the way, remember Narkina 5 and all of the labor camps that were being used to make stuff there in those prisons? Yeah, we find out that they were making the Death Star, so there's that. And that's Andor Season 1 at hyper speed of a recap. If this is something that you enjoyed, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more of Andor Season 1 breakdown, I have that for you in a moment. But first, I would love for you to tell me, what is your favorite part of Andor Season 1? Did I miss it in this recap, or did I cover it adequately? And make sure you hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, Cyril Karn is going to start hunting you down as your own personal stalker. Guys, thanks for being here. If you want to see my walkthrough of Andor Season 1, I recently did a rewatch of every episode where I break down all of the important things and give some of my thoughts to the deeper themes that I wasn't able to really capture here in this video, and you can click on that playlist right over here. Guys, thanks so much for being here. I'll see you over on that video. Remember, the Force will be with you always. Strange traditions. I can't say it again. Chandrilla is a place of strange, blah. Chandrilla.